Hello and welcome! Tonight on the show, we had a tough time getting over here because all these icy roads. We're hoping this hot honey can heat them up and make a safe way home for us. We're trying Mike's Hot Honey. We are so delighted to have you. This is Soft Spoken.
And we're back. We are Soft Spoken, with a podcast detailing your favorite sauces, dips, and condiments. My name's Adam, and I'll be your host, and I'm joined here this week by my co-host, Tori.
Hi there. Of course, hello. My name is Tori, and this is Soft Spoken. And to my left, the white boy who's out in the yard busting it down sexual style.
Ooh.
E.
Bussy.
Sexual style. Well, you clearly got your glasses on, or not wearing your glasses. I don't know. And where's with that start? You sound like you came from the South.
Busting it down sexual style. That's what I was doing before I came in here. That's maybe why the accent was different.
Busting it down sexual style.
Sexual style.
Yikes.
Sexually Southern style, apparently.
Yeah, I suppose so.
He was fucking a chicken sandwich. Which will take us right into the sauce we're talking about tonight. And now it's time to catch up with the host.
Time to catch up.
There we go.
Okay.
So, E, have you busted it down sexual style? And recently, in any
Anyway.
in any capacity?
Decade.
Yeah, well, I'm still talking up girls on Hinge. So.
Oh, yeah. What meant to ask how that was going. What, like how many? Give me a ballpark.
Currently talking to one now. I don't know. I was talking to three, but I've kind of stopped talking to two of those three. So, we're back.
Because you're more interested in the one?
Yeah, well, the one I misread her birth date or age or whatever.
Oh, God. How old is she?
She's 23. I was like, I need to stop talking to this girl right
You
now.
misread her age. Were you dyslexic a little bit there?
I thought she was 32.
Yes.
I don't know if I buy that. That sounds like a cheap cop out. Hey, man, that's cool. I mean, that's fine. That's within the ballpark of, legal at least. So.
It's legal.
Yeah.
And she can drink. That's really all you care about. So.
What was her story?
What was the 23-year-old?
Yeah.
She got a daddy finish.
Well, she had on her profile that most likely to be carded when she's 30. And I read it as
so she looks younger than that.
Oh, she looks
Eric.
very young.
Oh dear.
And I was like, oh yeah, if you're being carded
We're gonna bleep this
and you're
section
30, because I just in my mind I was like, oh, you are 30 or older than 30. I was like, okay,
Bro, you gotta be careful with that online because sometimes those girls aren't 23. Sometimes that's all I'm saying.
Well, that was actually my comment to her. I was like, as a joke, I was like, you look like a little girl who just snuck some beers into a party.
You have to stop using the phrase "little girl"
To
too.
catch up. Yeah, to catch you, dude.
We said that at Dave and Buster's last couple weeks ago when you were there. You're like,
Oh,
I said,
that
Eric,
little
check
girl.
out that hostess, and you're like, oh, that little girl over there. I'm like, no, Eric, don't. Bad. No,
She was
yucky.
a little girl. She was
no,
more like 16.
she was a physically small woman. That is what you mean to say, not a little girl. She wasn't 16.
Yeah, throw around
You're
pretty
right.
young
You're right.
bang.
She was probably
instead.
15. You're right. I don't even know what the minimum age is at Dave and Buster's.
You don't-
higher
Dude,
age.
no one's gonna be serving
Not
booze.
15.
She wasn't serving booze. She was the hostess.
You're out of your mind.
Anyways.
This one just took a dark turn. Let's steer it back into the light.
Catch up with those.
Let's find Jesus. Now it's time to catch up with the host.
Yeah, really.
Woof, Eric, how was your week? Tell us about the weather. please.
We survived the bomb cyclone just fine.
Podcast that respects women.
Boston got slammed. Now we got an ice storm coming our way.
You Boston.
Allegedly an ice
Allegedly.
storm. That's the thing. Right? They always say all these things, and you got to take it with a little grain of salt. Because, we have had serious ice storms. Tori and I were talking about this on the way down.
Yes.
Since I've been in Pittsburgh, I can think of at least 2 serious ice storms where it had a lasting impact on the roads themselves driving. Other than that, and I've been here since 2013, almost a decade, and I can think of that happening twice.
Yeah, it's not often for us. And
They say all the time. And sometimes they'll get on the trees, and you'll get that thing where it glazes the trees all the way over, and they're like, tree-shaped icicles, which I always think is cool.
right.
But not very often that it actually gets on the road and stays there.
No, they pre-treat that shit. It's not like we can't forecast this. Yeah, it'll be fine.
Do
It'll be
what?
fine tomorrow. They pre-treat the roads.
Yeah. And then you said what now?
It's not like they can't forecast this.
Oh.
Forecast.
What do you think he said?
Talk about foreskin.
ass.
Forecast.
It's not like they can't fork ass it.
That's what I thought. Fork ass.
Eric does have a weird way of enunciating his words. Enunciating.
That's
Forecast.
Okay.
way too many different states I lived in, obviously. So
I don't know.
pick up the worst. Pick up the worst of all languages across the board.
Languages.
Oh boy. What about
Lexus?
You are the Rosetta Stone.
the what? The Lexus.
The lexicon? Is that-
Lexicon.
Well,
yeah.
lexicon, but there was the word of the day actually on my flash briefing. Lexis. Lexus is the complete and total words of a particular language.
oh.
In Lexus.
Speaking of words, did you guys play that new word game Wordle?
Wordle. I've been
Oh
playing it
my
for
goodness!
weeks.
I hear all about it.
Yeah, I've been jamming at it with people with work. It'll go away soon.
Yep.
So
It's been fun though. I guess the creator he sold it to the New York Times for $1 million. So
the
that's
fascinating thing about that to me is, as someone that knows a little bit of programming, you see that and you realize that like what's actually going on behind the scenes there is so absurdly easy. It's not hard at all. And the front end stuff to make it look pretty is a little bit different, but the actual like code to make it run is damn simple. And it's like, man, it took a really smart person to come up with something so simple and yet so addictive.
simple. Yeah.
So, and yet challenging, challenging even for people that are good with words. So pretty impressive feat, I would say.
Yeah. I'd say I probably average around 4. Today I sucked. I got a 6. I was not paying attention to what I had previous words I'd already put in. I was too busy actually trying to work. How about that?
My goal is always just to get the word. Like I actually like if I use more of the letters, like all of the letters, I find it more fun that way to use as many letters as possible. So I frequently don't get them in like the fewest guesses, but I don't really miss any. So
Yeah, I've never missed one yet.
the only time I've missed one was I found an archive for the older ones that I had missed, like previous ones, and I did miss one of those one time.
You found an archive. That's cool. You
Yeah.
have to send me a link to that. That's
Yeah.
neat.
I mean, if you just Google Wordle archive, there's like 4 of them.
Neat.
I just picked one.
Yeah, that's cool.
What about you, Tori? You been playing this at all?
No.
No.
Not one game.
Why not? I feel like your wife would really, really like Wordle.
Yeah, it's probably, yeah. There's one gal at work. She was telling me about it. I don't know. It's not my bag.
I feel like, does Amy play it, Eric? Did you mention it to her, your work wife?
I didn't actually. I played
You got to get her on it.
Dave, my manager, he plays it. My dad, my brother, my aunt,
At my work, we use Slack, like a chat platform, and we have a channel that's dedicated to Wordle solutions on there, and every day you have to post, the solutions thread, and then you post your images of your screen inside there so it's hidden from, you have to click on it to open it,
nice.
so it's not a spoiler. But, yeah, quite entertaining.
Oh.
I really think Amy would get a kick out of that. I think one of you guys ought to mention it to her, because I think she would love that. I know she likes word games. She likes Hugger Mugger,
Right.
a board game
Yeah, Hugger Mugger's a hit.
that revolves heavily on words and spelling and word jumbles. So I think that she'd really like that.
I think it was yesterday's Wordle. I did games, and it was like the S and the E, I think, or something like that. So then I did I think it was not the F, the E. I don't know. And then I did smile. I guess I could reverse think about it here, but that's why try.
You're spoiling it for people.
So I did games, then this is an old one, 2 days
I
old.
know. Okay.
You get a new one every day?
Yep.
Every day.
Every
one.
day.
You get one.
You just get one.
That's why I've been playing the archive, because sometimes I want to do more than one.
Oh.
So I did games, smile, and then moist. Nailed it.
I got
Ooh.
today's in 2.
And I thought, and the only reason I picked moist was because of hanging around you guys.
Nice.
So I know how much you hate that word. And I saw it, and I was like, I think isn't you, Adam, who hates that word? Somebody.
I don't care. I know
It's just
lots
a
of
word,
people get hung
man.
up on that.
Yeah.
One of my buddies who's a woodworker told me that the solution was really easy for that day. So I thought, okay, wood, he likes woodworking. Joist was what I thought. And it was moist. I still got it, but it took me like 5 guesses. The other thing is, I will say about that, they have, in addition to the archive, they also have one that's called Dirtle or Dordle, which is you solve 2 of them simultaneously.
Ooh.
And there's also one that I don't remember the name of, but it's like a not safe for work one. It only uses naughty words.
Oh.
That's funny.
Which is kind of like, okay, it's not really my thing, I guess, but
Swear word funny.
my thing is like, you're going to really severely limit your vocabulary by doing that. It kind of takes some of the challenge out, I think, but
Oh, absolutely.
what do I know?
Hmm.
But what about you this week, Tori? Anything fun going on with you?
Well, I'm not playing any edgy word games, that's for sure, using naughty words. I did wrap up Animal Crossing, and it was a heartbreaking
You
experience.
wrapped it up?
Yeah.
I thought you could play that like endlessly.
You can play ad nauseum, but there is a confined storyline within that.
Oh,
You can
shit.
just continue and keep decorating and all this other stuff. But yeah, man, I got spoiler alert for a 3-year-old game, but yeah, man, I got the cute dog KK Slider to come and do a concert at my island, and the credits roll. and I was disappointed as hell. I was expecting a longer experience.
I mean, you did play it for a solid month.
For
right?
a solid month,
I mean,
yeah.
that's respectable, I think.
Yeah, solid month.
Do you know what your playtime in hours is?
I'm sure I can find it somewhere.
Oh, I know we can because I'm one of your friends on Switch, and I could go on and see what your playtime is.
My only friend
on
on
recent
Switch.
games, yeah. So we can find that out. But I'd be curious to know, because I know that sometimes people post about the length of the storyline.
Yeah, I don't know. The whole there's a star system, as to how nice your island is as you go about the game, and one's easy, you get 1 automatically. 2 is not that big of a deal, and then once you hit 3, you're done.
Huh? Interesting.
And then the dog comes to play his concert, and then the credits roll. And there's more to do.
Right.
If you want to make it really pretty and all that. I don't know if I really.
I got you.
It's
Yep. You lose that objective.
Yeah.
Is there different locations or different islands with different challenges or not?
Is there DLC?
No, well, updates hopefully.
Oh, okay.
But there is a mechanic where you can go to other islands, but you don't inhabit them. You come back to your home.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was something that came to my mind. I kind of wish I had thought about last week. We were talking about liminal spaces, and there's a game that I'm a big fan of called The Stanley Parable. I don't know if you guys, I'm sure Eric hasn't heard of it, but you might have heard of it, Tori. It's a PC primarily game, but it is literally liminal spaces, like the back rooms, in a video game. It's quite entertaining.
How so?
You're basically wandering through an empty office the entire time, and depending on your actions you take, you get different endings, and there's 30-something endings or something like that.
Oh, wow.
It's quite entertaining.
That sounds cool.
But it's you're led by a narrator to perform certain actions, but you are presented with a choice, so you can either follow the narrator and do what he tells you to do, or you can deviate from his instructions.
Oh, wow.
Sure, we'll use Eric's word. Probably a better choice.
That sounds pretty neat.
It's very entertaining, and I think it's a little bit of an older game, but I think you would really enjoy it, both for humor and the aesthetic of it. But it'll run on pretty much anything. You can throw it on your laptop and check it out. It's not expensive. It's sub $10, but definitely very entertaining.
Yeah.
Would recommend. Anything else with your week there going on, Tor?
Let's see here. Yeah, so I finished Animal Crossing to much harumph, I suppose. Yeah, so, boy. We have a wonderful sauce coming up here tonight. I don't want to spoil that. I'm excited for Pepe's sandwiches tomorrow.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good call.
I'm very excited for Pepe's sandwiches, and I am more than likely going to get a big old steak sandwich, and it's going to be delicious.
Nice.
I already know.
That's their signature sandwich, right? Is a steak sandwich?
Yeah, there's the Roethlisberger, which gets a lot of hype.
What's that?
That's a big sandwich. I think it's a hamburger basically on a hoagie bun.
Huh. Yeah,
Bro, they got so many good sandwiches. There's a turkey one there. We've talked about this before, I'm sure. But I'm probably going to get 2, and I'll probably eat both of them, for being quite honest.
You're going to get 2. You are a beast.
Savage.
That may not be a bad idea, though, man.
Dude, it's the way to go.
I think I've only ever gone twice.
They're not that big. That's the thing. They're decent size, but they're not gigantic. They're not big enough that you couldn't eat 2. That's all I'm saying.
I suppose.
But yeah, we've been talking a lot about, our weeks as we're wont to do, catching up with the hosts, but we're always interested in hearing about you, the listeners' weeks as well. So feel free to reach out to us at sawspoken@gmail.com. And don't forget to go on our website and check out the show notes if you want to see more like the Stanley Parable. I know we've got that on there. And then obviously, as always, hit us up on Instagram. We got a PayPal if you guys feel like dropping a dime on us if you think we're worth it to you. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts to add to that, but, as always, we're always looking for some listener outreach. So feel free to hit us up.
Heck yeah. We'd love to hear from you, most definitely. We're lonely.
We are lonely. Eric is especially lonely.
Especially lonely, right.
That's why he's on Hinge. So, again, any lucky lady listeners, he's an eligible bachelor. He's got the Nerd Palace. You can come to her firsthand.
Loads of board games.
Play a game or 2, right?
That's right.
Giant, greasy purple bed upstairs
Oh, my goodness.
slime around in. But without further ado, I think it's time we got onto the sauce tonight. I don't have a neat segue lined up. We did talk about some chicken sandwiches earlier, but that's probably the closest segue I've got. But without further ado, Tor, you brought it for us this week, so why don't you introduce us to what we're going to be looking at?
Sure, if I may. I noticed this is the second Mike's sauce that we've had.
Oh, yes.
Maya Mike.
Maya Mike's
Yeah.
Blasian Barbacoa.
So Michaels have been represented in a lot of ways, and especially here tonight, because this is Mike's Hot Honey. Hot Honey belonging to Mike. And it is in, 10-ounce jar, and it's a squeeze. All right, well, E, I think you're up, my man. Why don't you...
hand the squeeze bottle over to
put
me
your peepers on that and tell us all about it.
Sure. You know what's interesting about this? First thing that comes to mind of being really interesting. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting things going on here, but it's like the classic honey bottle shrunk down, but the cap is the same size. I find that really odd. Like, why is the lid and cap is almost the same diameter as the rest of the bottle, which makes it a very skinny honey bottle, very cylindrical. I'd say it's basically a maybe 1 3/4 inch diameter with a 1 1/4 inch diameter lid. So
I think it looks like a fancy soap bottle. You find like a bathroom or something.
Yeah.
Like
a little big, I think. Like, but they could be taking like a travel size like soap and then like supersize it.
How big is that? You said 10 ounces?
Yes,
That's a deceivingly small 10 ounces too. I feel like maybe that's just me, but you figure like a can of pop is 12 ounces.
Yeah.
Or like a bottle
That's
of
true.
beer is 12 ounces. You tell me a bottle of beer is 12 ounces and that's only 10 ounces? It seems bizarre.
It's basically the same height as like a can of beer.
Where's our scale at? We're going to have to weigh this shit.
Yeah, right.
Maybe they're cheating us out of a little bit of honey here.
I don't know. It just seems small to me for 10 ounces, I guess. Maybe that's not what I was expecting. And we know that I'm getting pretty good with this.
Yeah.
We've talked about this before. I've called a couple out by sight.
Absolutely. So the label design on this is it looks like a heavyweight parchment paper,
Oh, we love heavyweight here.
and yet it's like smooth as like plastic, because I'm sure it's like a glossy matte. Well, it's a matte finish sticker, but it looks like it has like rough texture to it, even though it's not. It's actually pretty cool. I really like that parchment kind of look to it. It looks really neat. Or you could also maybe say it looks kind of like a stone wall, so it has a little bit of like subtle speckling in the back there. It's got gold and red diamonds and like a real interesting pattern going around on the top and bottom.
Dare I say almost like an Argyle.
Like
Yeah.
an Argyle.
Yeah, very much so.
Varying sizes, overlapping each other. Very neat design. Very, very classy looking. It says Mike's in a nice cursive and like a maroon color, it looks like. And then Hot Honey in shades of red. Sort of looks like the History Channel H there.
Oh, yeah. I kind of see what you're saying. It does kind of
Oh,
look like that.
yeah.
Like the gold in the center and the red on the outside. Yeah.
Pretty cool. So Hot Honey, nice, bold, big, blocky text. Infused with chilies, it says. Yeah, real fancy. It's got a really cool bee logo, like almost looks like a stamped, again, kind of going with the whole like letter motif here.
Like a wax stamp.
Like a wax
Like
stamp.
a beeswax stamp.
Yeah, but beeswax, I tend to think of it being a little more.
Okay, so he's a fucking wax connoisseur now. Jesus
My man knows
Christ.
his wax.
It looks like a wax stamp. Yes, a beeswax. No.
Not quite.
It's a little too
Excuse
shiny,
you,
a
Adam.
little too like fine of detail for it to be like truly like a stamped beeswax kind of,
For
like
fuck's sake.
this looks more like a fancy gold sticker on the
Here
bottom.
we go again.
But
The
it says,
aristocrat comes
it says
out.
the original Brooklyn, New York, on the bottom of the circle. It has a bee on it, and very, very fine detailing, which is pretty cool.
Wow. Can I get a hand off or?
Sure. I mean, do you want me to say the last thing it says is
Oh,
give
yeah,
some
okay.
enjoy on suggestions. There's
Well, you stopped talking, so I thought you were done, you piece of dog shit.
no, you were just giving me the eyeball there.
He's like,
Adam. Give me the hairy eyeball.
Hairy eyeball. Fuck you. What are you going to say?
So it says made with honey and chili peppers, and it has a pizza like dripping down into a box, and it says enjoy on pizza, fried chicken, cheese, tea, salad, ice cream. I think that's very interesting. Fruit, roasted vegetables, seafood, yogurt, ribs, oatmeal, and cocktails. So essentially, I guess they're trying to promote this as a use on anything and everything you can think of.
That's all fair.
Yeah.
I do think it's interesting, though. You mentioned pizza, which I think is key, because there's a local establishment, I think it's a local chain to Pittsburgh, called Ironborn Pizza, and they actually, I believe, use this very sauce on a lot of their pizzas, the Mike's Hot Honey, which is right down by where Tori and I live, like down the road.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
So, kind of
It's by the
interesting.
axe throwing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Kind of interesting little connection there. We did not try it on pizza tonight. We tried it on the classic Tyson Dickin Nuggets. Tyson Chicken Nuggets, Dino Nuggets specifically.
There you go.
But I guess it'll come now to me for the visual description of the sauce that's inside the bottle. Again, thank you for the handoff, Eric.
Yes.
But I do,
Physically handed off, verbally not at all.
I do think it's really interesting. It looks very like amber red in the bottle. Like the top where the liquid has gone down is very much like an orange color. The bottom is more of a reddish color, but I would say a very amber in general. And it looks to me a lot like something that you might see as like a prop in either like a video game or like a Harry Potter world or something like that. It looks very magical. It looks like it would have some sort of like, mystical properties, I guess. The as you tilt it, it is obviously, it's basically honey in texture. It seems like it's probably blended or something like that. Like, it's not quite the raw honey. Like, I don't think this is going to start crystallizing in the bottle like some honey, generally speaking, will. But
I think all honey will eventually.
yeah, exactly. But I do think that this... Oh, God. I do think that this... it's got a very pleasant orange color in it, but it also has some flecks. It's more orange than honey traditionally is. It's not quite that yellow color, but it does still carry on a lot of those, like, amber shades to it. And I find it... Eric and I both dropped our cups now live on...
It's my turn.
Live on air. Drop your cup, Tori. Make it a third. Mazel tov. There we go. Okay, we've all dropped our cup live on air. And like I said, there is distinct, like, I'm certain it's the chili flakes in there. I find this very pleasing. The texture and viscosity is almost identical to honey. Something about these cups makes it very hard to hold on to. I don't know exactly what's going on there, but I do definitely love the appearance. Both of the bottle and the honey.
You're 100% sure you're seeing flecks in the honey? Like, I was wondering if I'm seeing... I think I'm seeing just breadcrumbs in mine.
I think you're getting chicken parts in there, bro.
Just
really?
chicken parts,
Yeah.
Really? Okay, well, I take it back. I guess there's not. Huh, I guess I was wrong. It must be...
Get a new cup and give it a fresh squirt.
Chicky nuggies. There's bubbles in there. I think that's what was throwing me off in the bottle. There's a few little bubbles bouncing around in there, so... Yeah, it must just be infused, but there's no actual chunk. I rescind my opinion officially.
It has been rescinded.
See, Eric, we can all agree that we've made mistakes in the adjudication of sauces, and it's okay to go back and change your mind on something, which is going to bring me into a little sauce-spoken rewind.
Oh, man.
Do-do-do-do! Time for a rewind.
Nick Whoops sauce.
Yeah, did you try some more jalapeno ranch there from Sheetz?
I did not try it anymore. I think
he doesn't need to try anymore.
I think you sincerely need to try some more, and part of that was indicated by tonight. I know we haven't gotten onto our initial tasting notes today, but I know that you said, again, you weren't quite picking up on the heat on this, and Tori and I were. We'll get more into that later, but I do think that maybe there's something going on with your taste. Maybe you have long COVID. Maybe you're just a distasteful kind of guy. I don't know which one of the answer is, but something's going on there.
I'm shooting for both there.
But more importantly, getting in regards...
Long COVID.
Yeah, I think long COVID is the key. In Eric's case, it might be short COVID.
Nice.
Hey, LMAO got him. But no, I do think it's important that we do a quick revisit to the Sheetz Jalapeno Ranch episode for reasons unrelated to the ridiculously unfair score that Eric gave it. As listeners now know, has been factually proven to be incorrect, and Eric still doesn't agree. But we forgot to give it a heat rating, and I know at least Tori and I thought that it deserved some level of a heat rating. Definitely more than, I know there's sometimes we're on the fence about it. Eric said he didn't feel like it needed a heat rating, but I think, 2-1, generally speaking, we're a democracy here as far as heat ratings go, so I think we're going to give it one. For me personally, I'm going to say it was a 3. It was definitely a building heat, but I know especially with that last batch I got, it was definitely, I noticed it. It was enough where I noticed the heat, but as we've said before, I would not have had to slow down with that heat at all. I could have eaten that indefinitely, and I probably still could be eating it till this very day if Eric had stolen my cup to trash it.
Yeah, to triple dip in it and try and spoon it in with the back of my fork there like I was.
But what about you, Tori? What about heat rating for the Jalapeno Ranch?
I'm tracking with you, man. I think it was, when you brought it up, my mind immediately went to a 3.5, 4, right in that range.
Nice.
Yeah, so I think the official's going to come in, split the diff, go with 3.5. Damn near. I mean, I hate to, sound like a broken record, but for those reasons, it was a building heat. I remember saying that it was comfortable, noticeable heat. So I think a 3.5 is very fair by that virtue.
All right. What about you, Eric?
I'm going to have to stick to my guns here and just give it a 1. But again, yeah, something may be broken with my, tasting abilities here or something. I don't know what's going on. So
absolutely.
To me, I got the taste of jalapeno. My brain was saying it should have some spice. I just couldn't detect it. When I was at the end there, when I was just lapping it off of the back end of my fork there, it was, I started to notice a little bit of heat by itself. So it was very, very subtle, but cool. It was there.
All right. That's fair. I just wanted to amend that. We'll have to go back and change the show notes and all that because we neglected that. That was my fault. I went off the rails a little bit last week. So I'm slightly back on the rails. I still don't think I've fully recovered from that. I think my entire personal life has been shook from that moment. But regardless,
From my tasting notes.
I'm trying to move on.
Shook your life.
I'm trying to move on. Serenity now. So,
Fragile Adam. That's his new nickname.
But a couple other things I wanted to talk about on that episode as well, really quickly. I was hoping that you would tell. I know you were really gritting on me last week, Eric, because one thing that kind of stuck in my mind a little bit was that, you know, we've talked a lot about before, like if there's a problem with the tasting articles, we need to address that prior to the show. And I think you sniped me a little bit last week when you were calling the food I brought for free for you junk food.
Junk food. But
I wanted you to share with listeners what's your dinner you having tonight, Eric?
Sure, I made blueberry pancakes for dinner.
Right. No comment.
Okay.
But one other thing I wanted to say was you specifically said how much you loved Subway. You said it was your favorite place you've ever eaten in your entire life.
No, that's definitely not what I said. But I'm sure you'll find a way to show the listeners, or let the listeners have some kind of wonderful rewind where I'm saying this.
No, I know that you gave some indication. You gave some indication there that the appetizer sample I brought from Sheetz was junk food. And I just wanted to point out that at Subway, their bread cannot legally be called bread in Ireland due to the sugar content because it is essentially a dessert.
I've heard that before. Yes, I knew that factoid.
In addition to that, the meats on their cold cut combo, which features prominently both turkey, ham, and salami, are all made from turkey.
Ooh,
their ham is made from turkey, Eric.
Wait,
that's
what?
Messed up.
Yeah. At Subway.
What about their meatballs?
No, I think that it's only on certain things. So, like, not all meats, which was how I initially read this article back when I first saw it. But I think specifically on the cold cut combo or whatever that is, all of those ones are made from turkey. But I think in general, they do have some that are made from real meats.
Wow.
I would not be surprised if meatballs were turkey, though, because that's an easy thing to make meatballs out of.
Have to admit, if I go to Subway, it's usually going to be either the meatball sandwich or the meatball sub or the like chicken, the ones that have like those like free-formed chicken patty things that aren't really chicken, but I'm sure they're mostly kind of chicken.
As long as the tuna fish is still tuna fish, I'm good.
Right.
And the meatballs are like turkey meatballs are okay.
Check first. All I'm going to say is check first. I can't comment. I don't want to make, publicly slander them on air where we're recording, but what I'm saying is that from what I read, that it seems to be true. Always do your own research, before Subway sues us, if they can muster up a lawsuit. It is Subway after all, but certainly not one to be pointing fingers, if nothing else, I would say, with their choice of former mascots. But
wow.
Although Eric is pushing the dial a little bit this earlier in this episode.
Their mascot gets into little girls, too.
Yeah, he's still steering pretty clear. But one other last thing I wanted to point out about Subway is that their American Club footlong has 1,020 calories in the footlong, 48% of which are from fat, 36% of which are from carbs.
Damn.
The appetizer sampler we had 700 calories, and we split that among three of us. 21 grams of which are protein. That's all I wanted to state for this episode. No further comments on this subject.
Yeah, I sort of got Amy in on this today at work. I asked her. I said, pizza is junk food, right? She's like, yeah. And then I was like, it's in the same category as donuts and ice cream. And she's like, well,
what is not junk food in your mind?
She's like, well, I wouldn't classify those as like. She's like, they're pizza's way better than donuts. I said, well, yeah, I'm not saying like this junk food's better than that junk food. Like, I'm just saying it is junk food.
I think you can have a perfectly well-balanced meal from pizza. Like, I believe that. It obviously depends on what type of pizza and where you get it from, and some is worse than others. And I'm not saying it's a phenomenal meal. But what I'm saying is that a healthy person could eat a large quantity of pizza and maintain a reasonable balance of both nutrients, vegetables, vitamins and minerals, macros, and stay within a reasonable caloric intake without too much difficulty.
Sure. I like to think I'd try to do that myself. I'm a living example of that. I mean, I don't think I'm particularly healthy or fit or, and eating pizza that's leftovers from other people and out of garbage cans is, maybe also something to do with that. Tori, you look disgusted.
Well, I mean, let's say you went out to like a BRG or like a nice burger place and got a burger with a plate of fries. Is that junk food? Like, where are we drawing the line here? That's what I'm confused about, because if that's the case, if that burger is junk food, okay, then let's say you go out to, Texas Roadhouse, a favorite of ours. Let's say you get a big old steak and a side of mashed potatoes. Is that junk food? Because that's what I'm saying, like, where do you draw the line? Because to me, those are all kind of roughly equivalent. Now, I get that if you just go and ate an entire bag of chips for dinner, that's pretty much just empty fried grease and lard and carbohydrates. I could say you could get off on calling that junk food.
Right.
But like, where do you make that? Where do you draw that line? Otherwise, I'm a little bit confused on this.
Yeah, pretty much anything that, I mean, like your steak and mashed potatoes, that's not junk food.
But a burger and
Your
fries
burger
is.
and your fries, well, the
Even though
burger's
they're made
not.
from the exact same things.
The burger's not, but the fries are, probably
So
qualify
the fries
as,
are
junk
food, despite
Yeah.
the fact that the mashed potatoes are not.
Right.
Even though
And
mashed
but-
potatoes could
right.
have butter on them and almost certainly do at a steakhouse,
At
which
a
is going to be
steakhouse.
possibly higher
Right.
caloric value than the fries are.
Yes, when I was raised,
Because mashed potatoes absorb
if
the
you
butter.
go out to a restaurant and be served by someone else, even if it's a steak dinner, it's pretty much junk food.
Okay, so this is totally arbitrary.
Because when you go out to when you go out to eat, they load it with extra butter,
I think
calories,
your parents
salt.
fucked you up, Eric. I think your parents really did a
And
number
junk.
on you. I think that's
So.
what this case is. 'Cause
Okay,
when
maybe.
when you say, "Oh, that's junk food," I don't think that's you. I think that's your parents' opinion coming out.
Sure, absolutely.
I think that's what your parents trained you to think, and I disagree with that because I think that you can certainly eat reasonable foods. Because I think if you're going to say that's junk food, then like I said, I'm really struggling with what you're not calling junk food. Are you saying
I'm pretty
a
much
salad
everything
with
I
bacon
eat
bits is junk food too?
is junk food. Everything pretty much that I eat is junk food. There's no
Okay.
doubt about it. And if we go out to eat at a restaurant,
No.
it's junk food
All right,
because it's
okay.
restaurant quality food, which means
Okay.
it's
The
quickly
listeners-
produced, loaded with extra butter,
Okay.
salt.
The
just-
listeners are hearing this, and I hope that they're absorbing this information for future podcasts. When I'm gritting on E about something and it seems like I'm bullying him, I want to harken back to this so you guys can just keep this in your mind for a little bit of a, oh yeah, I guess Adam actually has a pretty damn good point about it.
Lock it in the vault.
and I didn't mean
Eric's
to grit
food
on your
trauma.
food. I didn't realize that you were, taking so.
No, I just...
What about a bowl of chili?
such
Is
a
that junk
personal
food?
attack?
Oh.
Again, a bowl of chili at Wendy's? Yes. I would say it is, but a bowl of chili that you make
A
yourself
bowl
at
of chili
the
that I
house,
make for myself is junk, but it's not junk
It's
food.
not
I think is what
necessarily
Eric's
junk
trying to
food.
say.
I think it's usually should be
It
better.
tastes like literal garbage, trash food, but it's not junk food because I made
Depends
it
on
by
how
hand.
much additives and crap that you throw into it. Adam, threw everything but the kitchen sink at it and figured this should be good. Okay.
I don't think you are qualified to make an assessment on what is junk food anymore. That's all I'm
Okay.
saying.
That's fine.
Call it junk food because I think the appetizer sampler is, inherently probably not healthy food. It could be part of a perfectly healthy diet though, and I would say, if you're getting that with like, a taco salad or something like that, yeah, not the healthiest dinner. It's still coming from Sheets or like a a burrito, like I'm saying, but I mean, you're getting a reasonable balance of, like I said, vegetables, vitamins and minerals, protein, your macros, a reasonable caloric intake. I think those are all things that an appetizer sampler could fit in the confines of. That's my point.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I guess from a nutritionist standpoint, I think everything modern day food is absolutely junk food. You
Okay,
go down.
you know what? Your opinion is a junk opinion. How about
Okay.
that? Let's get back onto
Okay.
the sauce at hand. Let's get into our initial tasting notes. That'll conclude the Sauce Spoken Rewind. Thank God. Jesus.
Need a time machine
Who
for that
wants to go
rewind.
first? Tori, you haven't spoken in a while. You want to give us your thoughts on
Oh
this?
boy. Wow. Okay, I'll chime in. What the hell? Yeah, I thought this was really pleasant at first. Yeah, I mean, I'm really vexed by this because this was a Christmas gift and it sat in the closet and I figured this would be a great time to bust it out. And admittedly, I couldn't help myself, and these two knuckleheads were over my house as we busted it out and we all tried it. And correct me if I'm wrong, but we tried it on its own.
Yeah, we
did.
tried it on our fingies.
Okay.
On a
Which-
spoon. We all had spoons.
What did this have? It had a seal on it initially, right?
Mhm. Oh yeah.
Okay, so we broke the seal in advance. I sincerely doubt that had any effect on this sauce whatsoever.
Yeah, it's
It was
honey.
only a couple weeks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to be perfectly honest with the listeners, we
Yeah,
did
right.
break the seal.
Full
prior to the show.
disclosure. Full disclosure.
Full disclosure.
But I remember it being a whole hell of a lot hotter that first time than it was on the chicken nuggets. And then oddly enough, as I'm making out with my cup that they give us to get as much honey as I can out of that thing, I'm wrecking that poor thing's dreams. But
Maybe making them come true, really.
it seems hotter. It seems hotter now. It seems with the presence of something else, maybe a protein, maybe pizza. There was eggs mentioned on that little sidebar there thing of.
Let me take a gander here, Salamander.
I certainly can't see that.
Don't
far.
remember saying eggs.
Let's see. Pizza, fried chicken, cheese, tea,
Fried chicken would be out of this world.
ice cream, fruit,
That would be
roasted
good.
veggie. Oh, wait. It says down here, not allowed on eggs. That's
Not
weird.
allowed.
Yes, it's a right
The honey
under,
police
it's
will
under,
come and
it's
arrest
right
you.
under oatmeal and cocktails. It says it's illegal to use this product in a manner consistent with eggs.
Any poultry product. No, except for fried chicken.
Poultry's okay. It
Okay.
just says egg.
Hmm.
No egg.
No egg.
Yes, it says it's against the Geneva Convention, actually.
Wow.
I don't know why.
Heavy.
Must create some sort of gas when they're combined or something. I don't know. Interesting.
You can buy me enough hard-boiled eggs. I certainly
Produce
manufacture
gas, yeah.
enough gas.
Don't we all? Yeah.
But yeah, so it was sort of wild. It was when it was on its own, it was really hot. When it was with this chicken this evening, it calmed down considerably. It's still there. It's still very sweet and honey, and you get all that good stuff. You get the heat, and then I'll be darned if I didn't try it again on its own. The heat just ramped right up, and it's still hanging around in my mouth right now. So yeah, I mean, hot honey, boy, it's like another one of those things. How can you explain this possibly better than hot honey? You sort of can't. I mean, that the jalapeno ranch hot honey, we're sort of falling into that same idea where you can't reinvent the wheel here. You just can't. It is hot honey. That is what it is.
Yeah. As far as I go, I totally agree with you. I do think it is similarly like the jalapeno ranch in that, like that was ranch and jalapeno.
Bang.
But I do think that on the other hand, there's a lot more complexity going on with like the tanginess and stuff of that jalapeno ranch, whereas this is much more simple. It is exactly like you said, it is exactly what you get, but it is all that you get. There's very little like nuance on this. You get honey right off the bat, obviously, and that definitely hits first. And then the hot comes afterwards, and that kind of creeps up on you. And it's not overwhelming. For me, I feel like I remember it being hotter when I tried it initially on my finger. Trying it tonight on the chicken nuggets, I thought it seemed a little bit less hot. And I even tried a little bit afterwards on the toothpick. And I still felt like it was less hot than I remembered it being. That being said, I do think it's a little bit of a building heat. The only thing I thought was a little bit of a downside was I think with this sauce, trying it on the chicken nuggets is doing it a very slight disservice solely because I think the ratio is a little bit off. The reason I say that is that I feel like I want this more on like a chicken sandwich because the amount of sweetness you're getting from that honey initially is a little bit overwhelming, and that is all you taste at first. Whereas I think if you put it over like something like a wider surface area in a thinner layer, I think you would get less of that sweetness. I think it would be more subtle, and I think it would allow the heat a little bit more time to build in your mouth, and it would achieve a better balance on something like that. So I think I'd be much more inclined to try this on like a big chicken sandwich. And I think it would really sing on that. I think it was good on the chicken nuggets. It just was a little bit like 3/4 sweet, 1/4 heat. And I'd like to see it achieve that balance of 50-50 a little bit better. That's all for me.
Interesting take.
It is interesting. It's an interesting hypothesis, and I'm not sure. It kind of goes like contrary to what I'm thinking. But how about that? Shock. Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking back to like when we tried it on our fingers. We tried the tiniest little dollop, and I think part of the thing was because we tried so little, you didn't get a lot of that. You didn't get as much of the sweetness, or you got more of the heat.
But when you tried it on the toothpick, you got just a little, and you didn't taste the heat.
I tried a big dollop on it. That's the thing.
Oh.
Yeah, I tried a big dollop.
But you also said you didn't. I thought you said on the toothpick you really didn't notice the heat either.
I did, but I tried. That's what I'm saying. I tried a big dollop of it on the toothpick. Like I spun it around to get a little ball of it on there, like a little ball of wax.
Okay.
And so that's what I'm thinking. Like I think the heat comes through in the smaller quantities better than the sugar. Like I think the sugar gets kind of like the more you put on, the more sweetness you get, but the roughly approximate amount of heat stays kind of the same. The heat quality is good, though, I think. Like, it's a good, smooth, even heat. Like, it's got a very, linear approach, when it's coming on there. It's not like some of the aggressive or more, like I know, Tori, you've said kind of industrial tasting heats. It's a very, organic, smooth heat.
Definitely.
What do you think, Eric?
Interesting. So, I can't disagree with the majority of what you guys were saying, right? It is honey. And it's hot. It's heat. And then interestingly, I think the peppers distinctly remind me of the little Tabasco peppers that you had pickled that we had on the chili night of all things.
Say it ain't so, bro. No.
I think that heat is, and even the smell of it. Trying to figure out what that pepper is because you smell it slightly in the honey itself. Boy, I like this a lot. I liked it on the chicken nuggets. Unfortunately, I do feel like you guys were saying that it just came across more like just honey. That was my go-to when I was a kid. When you go to McDonald's and they'd ask you what sauce you wanted, it was honey.
That's so weird to me.
Amy does that shit too.
Yeah, I can't get on board with that chicken, like honey on chicken. Like I need
breaded chicken nuggets.
I need like a honey mustard or something. You know what I mean?
Straight up honey.
What about chicken and waffles?
it doesn't do it for me. I never really. Let me backtrack that. I've never really tried it from like a nice restaurant. You know, as Eric would call it, junk food. I've never had that
Junk food,
version of
sure.
junk
Good
food.
junk food.
So,
That's great. I love junk food.
It says everything you eat is junk food. By your
Yes,
definition.
everything I eat is junk food. I said that. You didn't ask me that last week.
Well, you're calling what I brought junk food, though. I mean, it is, you know, somewhat
Yes, it
arguably
is.
junk food. But like, if your definition of junk food is literally everything you eat is junk food, then okay, let's
I
get.
didn't mean it was a bad tasting, like
the
junky.
listeners and
It
I
was
have
just
all
non-nutritious.
listen,
Anyways.
the listeners and I have all agreed you're wrong. Let's move on.
That's fine, yeah. So back to my tasting notes on this particular hot honey. Yeah, I ate two chicken nuggets, 2 dino nuggets here, and I was like,
Made from
what
authentic
happened?
dinosaur.
Yes, I wish. Add it to my repertoire.
You would eat it.
Because it'd be
Absolutely, I would
aged, yeah.
try it. I would absolutely try it. Anyways,
I would like to try a mastodon.
Okay.
they're also extinct.
Well,
But you're just saying you would like to.
You think,
Why?
Eric? You think I don't know a fucking mastodon or extinct? Jesus fucking Christ, Eric! I'm saying I think they would taste good. They've dug up like frozen hunks of them out of the ice. I'm saying if they threw it on a spit, I'd give it a try.
Absolutely would give it a try.
Wow.
I mean,
Shit.
it's what early man like hunted and ate, wasn't it?
Yes,
Anyways.
that's what I'm saying. It must have been good.
I'm sure it was good. I'm sure it was damn delicious. Anyways, can I
Keep going, E,
please
please, yeah.
finish my
They're
my
pretty
review
big.
on
They wouldn't have
this?
hunted them if they weren't tasty, bro. It's like bison.
Bison is good.
Yes, that's my point. I'm imagining them like big bison.
Weren't they
Anyways.
working on like a project to actually bring back the mastodon? Wasn't that like a thing they were actually trying to do?
I think they were trying to like splice it with an elephant, you know,
Yeah.
because no one read Jurassic Park, obviously. So, anyways,
Anyways, I end up pouring myself more of this Mike's Hot Honey into my little tasting cup, and actually while I was eating the chicken nuggets, I dribbled just a little bit into my mouth, and I still didn't really get the heat. Now I dumped a good, dollop into my cup, and then I poured it down the side of it and took a nice big lick of it. And I tell you what, that heat, it hit me like a huge spike.
oh, so you did finally get it.
And it was great, and it immediately died. And and that's what I thought was really interesting. I'm like, this heat is like, it doesn't build per se, or at least it didn't build on the 2 chicken nuggets that I got to try. Tasting it on itself, though, it will smack you in the face and then disappear.
I will agree, it doesn't linger. Which
Does
I
not
like.
linger,
I think
yeah.
it's nice if someone that wants a little bit of heat but doesn't want it burning their mouth for the next half hour. This is a great thing to try.
Yeah, I think it's really,
One of its
really
huge
neat.
advantages, I think.
I think it's an advantage too. I think it was really cool. So.
It's nice to have something like that doesn't linger, because a lot of heat does linger. That's the whole thing about you got to drink a glass of milk. I don't know if it's because it's like captive in this honey or something. I don't know, but it's doing something, which I like.
Yeah, it's good.
I like it.
But with all that being said, I think this is going to be really disappointing. But it's time for Eric's favorite segment of the show: the ingredients.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be really disappointing.
I think that I suspect there are between 2 and 3 ingredients in this. So.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if there's more than 5, or if there is 5.
What if it was like 80 ingredients? Please see the manual for full ingredient list.
There are 3:
Okay,
honey, chilies, and vinegar.
vinegar.
Wow.
I wouldn't have guessed that. I would have thought to be honest, I was wondering if maybe it had water or some other form of a thinning agent to keep it from crystallizing, like we were talking about. Maybe something like that. I wasn't seeing the vinegar, which might also be doing a similar purpose. I don't know, but that is
Yeah, very well
interesting.
could.
It's made in USA, New York
definitely
specifically.
Didn't detect any vinegar
No.
at all.
No, don't taste it.
It must be a small amount.
And the honey is sourced from USA, Argentina, Brazil, and Uruguay. Yes.
You're a gay.
Yeah, that's you.
No, you.
Oh boy. Well, let's also take a quick peek at the website. I didn't see a whole lot on here.
I
going
see
on.
something that we should draw attention to. It's
Okay.
driving me crazy.
Put it on
They
some-
are suggesting you put hot honey on a quiche. And correct me if I'm wrong, but a quiche is an egg product. And you specifically said that there is no eggs on hot honey. So I
It's
just want
made
to sound
from eggs.
sound
You're
the
not-
alarm.
You can't have it only on egg.
throwing up the
itself.
alarm bells.
Yeah, I think was you mix it into something else, that's legal.
That's okay.
Yeah, I think that's okay.
I don't know. Well, to your credit,
It's not a quiche, it's a frittata.
they don't have the in-action shot of someone dunking or dipping the hot sauce on
What you
the
don't
hot
see
honey.
there is the firing squad behind them to put them,
That's right.
down after doing that illegal maneuver.
They're lighting their smoke right now. Any last words?
Oh boy, they've got a sweet heat margarita on here, which I have no desire to try. I don't like heat in my cocktails. And then maybe that's a controversial thing, but that's another reason why I don't like Bloody Marys. I don't want hot in my cocktails. I like hot, but not in a drink.
Huh, so you don't like those spicy Mexican stouts then?
The closest thing I like...
Oh, that's right. You already had one, and you said you liked it. That's weird.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I was say I like that Mexican hot chocolate where it's got kind of like that cinnamon bite and stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't mind a little bit of like, I wouldn't even call those spicy. I would call them like chili powder, which I don't really consider spicy. It's spice, but it's not heat, I don't think.
I'm trying to remember the exact beer because I went to that brewery that you like, and I tried that, I think, because I waited.
I've tried it too.
They brought that stout right when I was there, because they were out when I was there. Yeah, there was going back in time here. I think we actually talked about this already on the show.
Yeah, we did. That one I think you're referring to was kind of had a slight heat to it. It's not nearly as hot as like Tabasco or something like that you would put in like a Bloody Mary.
Right. Yeah, it was subtle too. I've had other stouts that are hotter yet,
which I don't like that. Like that was like the max where I'm still willing to tolerate it and I think it's okay. Like, and even that was kind of pushing it. Part of what was getting through on that was that it was a 13% beer.
Yeah.
So, that definitely helped with that. But yeah, I don't really need that at all in beverages. It's not my favorite. But yeah, I'm not seeing a whole lot else. They kind of give you a lot of recipes. They're willing to do that. Like I said, I think if there's an Ironborn pizza anywhere near any of the listeners, I think that they do that on their pizzas, on a lot of them. They sell this anywhere from your 0.75 ounce squeeze packet all the way up to the over a gallon. Was that a gallon and a half? No.
Big boy.
Yeah. A 192 ounce jug. It doesn't seem like they sell anything else like any other type of product, so, right? So.
Yeah, there was the hot and then the extra hot version.
Oh, okay, hot and extra hot. That's all I'm really seeing here. Lots of clothing options.
Get a bucket hat. Get a cool bucket hat.
I would say that if you...
I always call them fisher hats, like fisherman hats. Bucket hat?
I can see that. I would say that if you've managed to find this in your grocery store, you're not missing much by not visiting the website.
Yeah.
It's fair to say.
You've seen the whole collection.
So, I think we can go ahead and cruise right on. They have a story. We didn't.
Oh, boy.
Let's see how long this story is. Okay, short.
2 paragraphs.
Mike's Hot Honey is America's leading brand of hot honey. Founded in 2010, here I graduated high school, by Mike Kurtz. That sounds like one of those fake made-up names that gets you in trouble on a phone, you know? Mike Kurtz. The brand was born from a desire to create and share the highest quality honey infused with chili peppers. Mike began drizzling his signature hot honey on pizzas at the Brooklyn Pizzeria. Brooklyn Pizzeria where he worked, and customers started to ask if they could buy bottles to take home. Eric, you want to read the next paragraph?
Sure. Mike's Hot Honey became a word-of-mouth sensation, sparking the creation of a new category of honey. Headquartered in Brooklyn, New York, Mike's Hot Honey can now be found on restaurant menus, retail shelves across the U.S.
Okay, there's a whole little timeline thing here, which I'm not going to take the time to read through, but
it's quite long.
Yeah,
it's pretty long.
There's a lot of it about us. This is clearly like a hipster sauce. I will say that. But yeah, not a whole lot else going on there. So I think without further ado, it's time to get on to the ratings portion of the show.
I'd be excited to try this on pizza, I think.
I was suggesting that we should try that Ironborn, but it's always tight on a recording night to try to, and I think that they have a little bit of a long wait time. And we're waiting to see also how bad this ice on the roads develops. I'm hoping that Tori and I can get home as opposed to have to crash here. That'd be awkward.
The cyborg bomb cyclone.
Yeah, exactly. So,
that'd be bad.
Who wants to lead us off? Tori, do you want to lead us off with your rating? Or do you want to go... I'll give you the option to pass if you want.
Wow. Well, I think I'm just going to go ahead and do it.
All right.
He's going to pass.
Do the damn thing.
I'm going to do the damn thing,
okay.
E. I'm not going to pass.
Don't put words in his mouth, Eric, piece of shit.
What the hell's do it mean to you?
Eric,
when someone says, would you like to pass? I'll do it.
Yeah, I'll say, to Eric, any opportunity to not do something is to do it.
Default position. Blow it off.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I can't even deny that one. That's true.
Oh, boy. Okay. Well, I mentioned this before, and I tried it before. Months, maybe a month and a half before. And I didn't really care for it because of the heat. Once I tried it on the chicken nugget, I have to say it changed my entire opinion on this. Entirely. And in a very pleasant, positive direction. So, Boy, I'll be damned if lightning doesn't strike twice. I got another 10 on my hands here.
Holy shit.
I mean, I just do. I like it. It's good. Boy, the chicken sandwich idea that you propose sounds out of this world. Even if it is like a frozen chicken sandwich you put in like an air fryer, I think that'd be really good. Just judging what we had on those Tyson nuggets alone, I think would justify its home on a piece of fried chicken. I think that would be really good, even like a biscuit. And damn it, I'm going to try it on eggs too, because I like hot sauce on eggs.
You'll take that risk.
Police.
You'll take that risk.
Call 'em.
I'm calling the police
They're
as we
on
speak.
hold right now, but I'll be darned. It is a 10. I like it.
Nice. Eric, you want to
Awesome.
go next there for us?
Sure. You know what? I've been drinking hot tea a lot recently. Kind of giving up the whole coffee. I think this would be awesome in hot tea. I think, on a biscuit, waffles and chicken, fried chicken, pizza. I'm excited to try this on. I mean, this is my jam. This is really good. The only problem with me to give this a 10 is that then the extra hot is probably going to be 11. But what the hell? I'm going to give this a 10.
Woo! Jesus Christ. Now the pressure's on me. After I gave you guys all that shit last week about not giving this fucking...
And what's really weird is this would have been, or should have been, last week's sauce. We ended up like last minute. We pulled
right.
it.
We did
That's
change
right.
it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh
Buy some
boy.
shitty sheet sauce. Oh.
Whoa, you watch your tongue, man.
wow, this is a tough one for me. I'm really trying to think. I really want to make sure I'm giving this a fair evaluation because, oh man, I really wish... Okay, here's what I'm going to say, and I think this is as fair as I can possibly get. I want to reserve judgment on this because I think in order for me to ethically give it a 10, I do want to try it on a chicken sandwich or somewhere where I can achieve that balance a little bit better. Because I want to see if my theory checks out. If my theory checks out and I hit that perfect 50-50 balance, it's going to be a 10. As is, I'm going to give it a 9 with an asterisk.
Say,
Oh, man.
fear.
This is, I will say,
The
this
10
is,
just can never, a perfect
No.
10 cannot happen.
this
did 'em
is-
dirty.
This is something that I will legitimately fall back up on.
I think, I feel you're in the same boat as me, Adam. I think if we had the extra hot on that sandwich, or with
That's
that
what I'm
food,
saying. I wanted
it's
more of that
gonna
balance.
be that perfect
That's what I'm
balance
saying. I
for us.
really wanted more of that balance for it. That was the only criticism I have. And I know I've said before, I say a 10 is something I can't think of a way to improve. And for me, having that better balance,
A
which
little
I
more heat.
wasn't quite getting on the nuggets. And that's part of the thing, too. I think if I had grown up having honey on a chicken nugget, this would have been even better. But I know as a kid, and even as an adult, I've tried honey on chicken nuggets, and it just doesn't do it for me. So that's where I'm coming from. And like, I want to try it on like a pepperoni pizza, something with that rich saltiness and savoriness and a little bit of the grease there, to kind of thin out that honey, but keep the heat, make it pop. Or a chicken sandwich, and like I said, I
can
am
fry up some hard salami for you right now.
no, I am going to follow up on this. Like I said, this is a solid asterisk next to this. This could be a 10. I am just going to withhold judgment until I've made my mind fully up on this. So,
Fair enough.
but
He just
it's-
wants to take the jar home all week.
No, I'll bring a chicken sandwich. I'll bring a chicken sandwich over to your house to try it.
I'll check it.
No, that's what I will do that. We will follow up on this. They will happen. I can promise the listeners that will happen within the next 4 weeks, within the next month. It will happen within the next month. I will do that. And then we will give it a more fair evaluation.
We can make that happen.
I think the original heat level, like it is right now, that we're trying tonight, is going to be like maybe, I'm guessing here, but probably more enjoyable in tea or on ice cream or, drizzled on something that's a little more like, I think if you're going to have it on meat or a chicken sandwich, it needs to have that extra punch. It needs to have that extra heat level to really carry through. And maybe even the pizza. So I'm intrigued. I really like it though. Like I said, I grew up eating, that was my go-to as a kid, just honey and chicken nuggets.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. It just wasn't for me.
I'm going to a pizza restaurant on Friday. I can get you a personal pan on Saturday.
I was going to say,
on Friday.
I thought we had just discussed on air that we were getting sandwiches on
Peppies.
Friday.
Yeah,
but
my bad. On Saturday.
if you want to double dip, by all means.
I'm going to a pizza restaurant on Saturday.
What pizza restaurant are you going to? An authentic one?
Belisario's.
A very authentic one.
Yeah.
The controversy of the decade. Oh boy. No, this was legitimately good. And to be honest with you, the other thing I am going to suggest is I think we should get an Ironborn pizza, because that's another thing that if we get that local collab in there and I try it on there and it's really good on that would definitely be a 10 too for me. That would definitely be enough like wow factor to amp it up to that. So I'm going to say, let me get a chicken sandwich maybe. Let me try an Ironborn pizza. I'll report back. we'll make this a fucking thing.
I love it.
You know what we didn't look up or check even into is Ironborn Pizza a local chain? I mean, you said you thought, but you weren't sure.
I will report back. We'll find out in the show notes because I think it is, but I'm not 100% confident.
I have no clue.
It definitely could be also like a Brooklyn pizza chain or something like that. I don't know.
Gotcha. All right. Interesting.
I do know that they use, and I believe it is specific this exact one, like Mike's Hot Honey, on a lot of their pizzas. And I think it is like a Brooklyn-style pizza joint. So I'm going to say that probably that's where the influence is coming from for that edition. Without knowing any more. I've never eaten there. I do solidly think that is something we're going to have to, I didn't realize how close this was going to be. We will follow back up on this. That's all I can say. But with all that being said, I think that's going to do it for us this week on the Mike's Hot Honey. A very interesting episode. We've had some real bangers here lately that I think we're all pretty stoked about, and hopefully we can continue that tradition because next week is our Valentine's Day episode. We have an exciting treat for you. You guys are going to be so stoked. I am so excited. And I'm really excited, too, to find out what it is we're actually going to do, because we haven't decided yet.
That's right.
Aren't we all? Yeah.
But we'll come up with something good. That is our
closely guarded secret they haven't told us yet.
Yeah, it's our promise to you. They haven't busted it out of the vault for us yet to give it to us. So, but we will find out, and I'm sure that you guys will be just as excited about it as we are. But without any further ado, Eric, do you have any closing thoughts you'd like to leave with the listeners tonight?
Closing thoughts. So I mentioned how I was talking to some ladies on Hinge, and yeah, isn't that cool? And one of them is
they talk back
in China, and it's super interesting to just hear about like their culture and their religions and like getting like pictures from like the restaurants over there. It's just really interesting to reach out and
get
talk
to send us some sauces, some authentic sauces. We need another foreign listener. It's been a hot minute since we had an international guest.
Yeah, that'd be super amazing actually.
That'd be cool
to have her on and hear some of her types of sauces that she grew up with having over in I'm pretty sure in China. Yeah, I haven't talked to her a whole bunch, but we've been just hitting some interesting topics. And I've been doing some.
Watch it be like the fucking Philippines or something like that.
Right.
I'm pretty sure it's China, the big one, right?
Pretty sure it's China.
Watch it be Taiwan. That'd be even better.
That'd be cool.
We steer clear of politics on the podcast, but that would.
Oh right,
that would be funny.
Right. That would be funny. So yeah, I don't know. Just it's funny because my one coworker, she's always chatting to people from around the world, and she always finds it. She says how much she finds it interesting talking to them.
Wait, who's always chatting to people around the world?
Samantha.
Bop.
Yep.
Who was previously on the show. You were allowed to refer to people who have previously been on the show. We were allowed to refer back to them. You're always like, my coworker who shall remain anonymous.
Bop.
Why is she always talking to international people? Is it like some kind of weird hookup thing or a pen pal thing or what?
No, just like her experience with like online dating as well. Like she just ends up talking to these guys that are in Middle East and
how?
I have no idea, man.
All right,
we just have bad luck.
It usually selects like in your local area. That's what I'm confused about.
She also reaches out to him through like Facebook and whatnot. So she does like
she's finding dudes in the Middle East on Facebook.
Yeah,
dude, that's how you get abducted into like fucking ISIS and shit. Why is she doing that? That's legit. People die.
Right?
Don't do that.
She lives dangerously, I guess.
Well,
I don't know.
I'm not saying they're all bad apples, but I mean, I wouldn't be going out and just reaching out to randos either. Holy cow.
She was talking for a long time with a guy down in Brazil. And he was like...
She's going to get kidnapped.
He was asking her to like take care of like money transactions for him here in the States.
God.
And I was like, Samantha, don't do that.
No. That's cartel shit.
Right. Yeah. I was like, do not do that. And I'm like, that's a terrible idea. She's like, well, it's only he's going to just like wire me $5,000. And I'm like, no. Tell him no. So yeah.
Wiring money. What? Dear God, that poor girl. I shouldn't have made fun of her. She's clearly got clearly something there.
Oh, man.
Oh, boy. What are your closing thoughts this week, Eric?
You live and you learn. Well, it was just that. Just, hey, reach out to, be open-minded.
China? Okay,
be open-minded. Be open-minded. Listen to other cultures and other,
eat more than
religions.
Chinese food. That's what they had in common.
Well, that's what I would like to do, yeah. It's right now the Chinese New Year, so there's all kinds of pictures that she's been posting on her Instagram about, all these different Chinese dishes.
You got the Instagram already.
So, yeah, I got her Instagram, so pretty cool.
See, aren't you glad that we made you download that now?
I had it before you made me download it, didn't I? I don't know, maybe not.
Yeah, right. Okay.
All right. Well, I think it's time for Touching Thoughts with Tori. And
Wow.
we're on week 2 of a 5-week banger.
I remembered. How sweet of you.
I see your paper sitting out over
That's
there.
right. That's right. Well, E, you surprised me because I thought your final thought was going to be, and a poignant one at that, would be to eat healthy.
Don't eat junk food.
I don't eat healthy
My
at all. I eat junk food
goodness.
all the time.
That was the shining example of a final thought you could have knocked out of the park because of your tirade on junk food.
I
But
think that's a disturbingly puritanical mindset to be like, I must punish myself for I only ingest food that is sinful to me. You know what I mean? I think that's disturbing that you think that way, that all your food you eat is junk food, Eric.
It's the American way of eating, really. I mean, yeah.
All right.
I don't know.
Nah, I think you're a little.
If I'm not having a salad,
That's not true.
it's pretty
That's
much junk
factually
food.
inaccurate. All right, Tori, hit us.
oh my goodness gracious. But yes, the aforementioned mini-series that we're having here and the broader idea of this mini-series is to think about what happens and what you should do prior to you opening your mouth, maybe in a controversial situation, or maybe just, any day, every day. So last week we talked about tea, and we talked about the importance of truthfulness. The T in think, of course, is truthfulness and how important that is. Today we're going to move on to H, the H in think, and that is it helpful? Are you helping folks? Are you helping yourself? Because, you have to help yourself out before you can help anyone else out. So you want to make sure that what is coming out of your mouth is not only truthful, but it is also helpful in nature because, a lot of folks may need your help and they may be a little bit too proud to ask for it. So you take it upon yourself and be helpful. And hey, help yourself to more episodes. We got plenty in the backlog.
Hey.
So
Nice.
keep listening. We love having you here. You're handsome as hell. And good night. That'll do it for me.
Handsome also fits in with the H. Was that intentional?
Yes.
That was intentional.
Absolutely,
That was
it
clearly
was.
intentional.
I entirely
Planned in advance.
purposely thought that out, and you just
Very
happened
good.
to catch up on it
Very
because
good.
you are very clever as well. Well done.
Nice. Well, as Tori mentioned, by all means, please go back and listen to a few more back episodes. Throw them out, give them to your friends, do a little bit of outreach for us. So we're dying here. We need some more listeners. We need someone make us give us some serotonin, if nothing else. Jesus. And for Eric's sake, do it for Eric.
We're begging now.
We're begging
Literally.
you. But yeah, as always, hit us up on our website. Check out, the Instagram by all means. Some fun stuff on there. Softspoken@gmail.com if you want to get a hold of us. As always, send us whatever. I don't care.
Get
I'm
a
gonna
hold of us
regret
and we'll
that.
send you a sticker.
Yeah,
well,
right.
Yeah, we've got stickers.
We got plenty
galore,
of stickers,
by all
plenty of
means.
merch just hanging around. It's not the best merch going, but it's free.
It's
so what the
free.
hell do you
It's
expect?
been a minute since we've set a sticker out, so yeah, by all means, we've got them. Yeah, as always, thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll catch you next week.
Oh no, it's the end of the show. Thank goodness there's several other episodes waiting just for you. Check out our Instagram. We like to have some fun over there. We post the sauce bottle pics if you're curious, and the occasional meme. That's going to be Sauce Spoken official. Hey, despite our humble nature, we are accepting donations, believe it or not. Look us up on PayPal. That's going to be @Sauce Spoken. Hey, and if you like what you hear, grease those palms, babe. Lastly, roll up your sleeves and get into the nitty-gritty at softspoken.wordpress.com. We have show notes and details. Check it out. Share us with a family member or a friend. If you're enjoying it, I'm certain they will too. Good night.